कूजन्तं राम रामेति मधुरं मधुराक्षरम् आरुह्य कविताशाखां वन्दे वाल्मीकि कोकिलम्। रामाय रामभद्राय रामचन्द्राय वेधसे रघुनाथाय नाथाय सीताया पतये नमः। जयत्याश्रितसन्त्रास ध्वान्तविध्वंसनोदयः प्रभावान् सीतया देव्या परमव्योमभास्करः परमव्योमभास्करः।
श्रीमते निगमान्त महादेशिकाय नमः। The attack on Kaikeyi's mind by Manthara is in a research material itself. To that mother, to that lady who had excess love for Rama, in an hour and a half's time, Manthara has to be successful in brainwashing her mind. So what are all the strategy or the nuances that she deploys is worthy of study. That's human psychology. Those of you who are adept at it, which I have not been trained at, whatever little I have gathered from my understanding is, there were psychologists, people who have gone deep into the research of human psychology for centuries together. One person who is revered amongst the intellects in the psychology study based world is Sigmund Freud. So it's often stated as Freudian psychology, Freud's principles which are put forth. So one thing that he comes up with is, in most cases, mark this word in most cases, father love their daughters, mothers love their sons. See, he doesn't say that the opposite is untrue. He doesn't say that the opposite cannot happen. For example, mothers will love their daughters too. Fathers will love their sons too. This is obvious and normal and organic. But in most cases, he says, mothers will love their sons more. Fathers will love their daughters more. So this is human psychology is what he says. But in my humble opinion, even before Freudian psychology could come into picture, we have had Ramayaniyam psychology, because Manthara deploys that psychology to brainwash Kaikeyi. At the beginning she says, there is harm to you. Kaikeyi says, there is no harm to me. Then she slowly begins stating that there is harm to Bharata. That is when Kaikeyi gets the first jerk. She asks, substantiate that. That is when Manthara says, if there is no imminent threat to Bharata, why should this coronation happen in Bharata's absence? So this is the first jerk, logical jerk given to Kaikeyi. Next, she says, in case Rama becomes the Yuvaraja today, the Raja tomorrow, there will be thoughts in Rama to expand his territory. So he may join hands with his father-in-law Janaka and may attack your father. So for your father's defeat, for downfall, in a way you will yourself be responsible for his downfall. Then Kaikeyi says, substantiate that. That is when Manthara tells, see, two people have not been invited to this coronation. Every other king has been invited. Kaikeyi asks, how do you know who are the kings who are invited? She says, I saw the guest list. In the guest list, 2 kings were not there. Who were not there? Your father Ashwapati, Kaikeyi Raja, and Sita's father Siradhwaja Janaka. Only these 2 kings have not been invited. In fact, Kaikeyi, you will know that both these kings are related to Dasharatha as well. One, Janaka is the Sambandhi. That is, Janaka's daughter is married to Dasharatha's son. Relationship. Second is your father Ashwapati, who is the father-in-law. Both the Sambandhi Janaka and father-in-law Ashwapati have not been invited. Why? Because he does not want this situation to become a potpourri of such political discussions. But this must be in the mind of Dasharatha. See, she says, Natu Kaikeyi Rajanam Janakam va Naradhipaha. That is when Kaikeyi finally understands from her perspective that Dasharatha has been hatching a plan to make Rama the heir apparent, to deny Bharata the rights, to make Kaikeyi the slave to Kaushalya, thereby him going to the forest and then Rama becoming the king and ill-treating Kaikeyi and then fighting against Ashwapati Maharaja, getting their territory by joining hands with Janaka Maharaja. All these lines of Manthara start echoing in the mind of Kaikeyi. And she now becomes completely brainwashed. Whether we have to appreciate Manthara's brainwashing skills, or should we accept that Kaikeyi had a brain that could be brainwashed so easily, Ramayanam always remains a work of sheer human psychology and feelings. Kaikeyi now thanks Manthara. She tells, I am very thankful to you, Manthara. You have opened my eyes. You don't know, Manthara. In fact, for the last 2 days, my right eye has been throbbing. Because as per Shakuna Nimitta Shastra, for the woman, when the left side of the body winks or there is a jerk, it is Shubha Shakunam. Right side is Dushakunam. Because Rama was to be made the heir apparent, which in itself is a decision to hurt Kaikeyi, Bharata and Kaikeyi's father, it was a bad omen for her. So Tulsidas ji through a couplet tells what Kaikeyi wishes to tell. It seems Kaikeyi told Manthara, see, my right side of the body was throbbing, indicating something evil is going to happen. You are the one who has thwarted it. Dahini aankhi nit phar gayi mori, din prati dekhavu rati kuspane. See, you are the one who has opened my eyes. You are like an acharya to me. You are like a guru to me, Manthara. Then Kaikeyi, through her anger, all this while she says, I was a fool. I was very humble, innocent. Nothing of it she was. But she says, I was humble, grounded, simple, innocent. Now I am going to get my things done from Dasharatha. I will show what my anger can achieve. I don't have to use the Brahmastram, Narayanastram, Pashupatastram, Vajrayudham of Indra. Just my anger is enough to win over Dasharatha. Now, see, in Srimad Ramayanam, you come across this incident where Kaikeyi uses her anger as a weapon to achieve what she wants from Dasharatha. So Kaikeyi, the wife, uses her anger as a weapon to achieve what she wants from her husband Dasharatha. This is during Ramavataram in Treta Yugam. In Krishna Avataram Dwapara Yugam, Satyabhama uses her anger to achieve what she wanted from Krishna, her husband. Here it is Dasharatha, there it is Krishna. Here it is Kaikeyi, there it is Satyabhama. Here the reason is the coronation, there it is Parijata Vriksham and Pushpam. Because the flower of Parijata, as gifted by Narada, was given away to Rukmini by Krishna. Upon understanding that the flower had not reached her, she becomes angry and she doesn't want the flower, she wants a tree. So this incident in Treta Yugam, the other in Dwapara, during Ramavataram, during Krishna Avataram, the fight is between Dasharatha and his wife Kaikeyi. Here the fight is between Krishna and his wife Satyabhama, there Kaikeyi uses her anger as a weapon. Here Satyabhama uses the anger as a weapon. Do you see the similarities? Now, roughly 500 to 600 years back, in the south of India, in a small hamlet called as Arasani Palai in Tamil Nadu, there was a prolific Sanskrit poet called Venkatadhwari Kavi. He was a great Kavi. He was called Venkatadhwari. He composed a work called Yadava Raghaviyam. Yadava, the one who comes in Yadukula, who's Krishna. Raghava, the one who comes in Raghukula, who's Ram. So Rama is called Raghava, Krishna is called Yadava. One comes in the Yadu clan, the other comes in the Raghu clan. So Yadava Raghaviyam means, let us take a Sanskrit verse, two-lined verse, Anushtup Chandas. If you read the verse as is, like how you would read any other verse left to right, it will talk about Rama. If you do the reverse, read it in the reverse direction, it will talk about Krishna. So it is called Anuloma Pratiloma Kramam. One goes left to right. You do the mirror image of the verse, it will talk about Krishna. It's called Raghava Yadaviyam. So what did I tell you? Dasharatha spoke to Kaikeyi. Kaikeyi used her anger as the weapon to get what she wanted. There, Krishna spoke to Satyabhama. Satyabhama used her anger as the weapon to get what she wanted from Krishna. I will read out the verse from, one sample verse from Yadava Raghaviyam. Now, Kaikeyi's verse, Rama's verse, Dasharatha's verse. Sagasa Bharataya Ibhamabhata Manyumattaya Sa Atra Madhyamayatape Potaya Adhigatarasa. This verse talks about Kaikeyi's anger achieving what she wanted from Dasharatha. I am reversing that verse. What did I read? The first verse was Sagasa Bharataya Ibhamabhata Manyumattaya Sa Atra Madhyamayatape Potaya Adhigatarasa. Now I want to reverse the verse. Sarata Gati Gadhitaya Tapopetaya Madhyamatrasa Yatamanyumata Bhama Bhayeta Rabasagasa. I've just reversed the verse. Sarata Gadhiya Tapo Petaya Madhya Matrasa Yata Manyumata Bhama. Bhama is Satyabhama. Bhayeta Rabhasagasa. So, using Kaikeyi's anger, poets have even made some poetic marvels. Now, Manthara tells, on what basis are you going to change the plan in Dasharatha's mind? Kaikeyi says, you have guided me in my life so much, Manthara. Now you guide me here as well. You tell me what tool I should use to change my husband Dasharatha's mind. Manthara tells, do you remember your history, Kaikeyi? Long back, I'm not talking of today or the last year, many decades back, when your husband had to go to the rescue of the Devas in their fight against the Asuras, you had gone with your husband on that day of Yuddham. Pura Deva Sura Yuddhe Saharajarshibih Patihi Agachatvamupadaya Devarajasya Sahya Krita. Devarajasya, for Indra's help, your husband had left and you had gone along with your husband. There was this Yuddham. It happened in Dandakaranyam, which is called Vaijayanta. While your husband was fighting alongside the Devas against the Asuras led by Timidhwaja. Timidhwaja was the king whom your husband was fighting. During that Yuddham against Timidhwaja and Shambhara, for a minute, due to some unique astram aimed by the opposite party, your husband swooned on the battlefield. He fell in the same chariot in which he was standing. That time, you had to protect your husband. The charioteer was also swooned. So you became the charioteer. Alongside, remember, when the axle in the wheel of your chariot, your husband's chariot, was attacked by the opposite party, to let the chariot go, you risked your life by putting your hand in the place of the axle, and as the wheel turned, you too turned along the battlefield and let the chariot go, and you protected your husband. अपवाह्यत्वया देवी सङ्ग्रामा नष्टचेतनः तत्रापि विक्षतः शस्त्रैः पतिस्ते रक्षितस्त्वया. You protected your husband. That time impressed upon your valorous act, a selfless act. You remember what Dasharatha told you? Yes, Manthara, I remember that day very well. He said, I will give you 2 boons, Kaikeyi. Ask for it. Did you ask for that, Kaikeyi? No, Manthara. I completely forgot about those 2 boons. Do you get the idea? Today, make use of those 2 boons. She stopped. But what were those 2 boons? Next episode.
Dear Astika reader, I am happy to be authoring a 2-part book on the Ramayana in English. The first part is slated for release in the year 2024. The book aims to recreate and retell the Ramayana of Valmiki, conforming to the ancient commentaries and other allied literature. To receive notifications of the book release, kindly register with www.deshikadaya.org/books. Namaskaram.